Welcome to the Live Bright Show, the pod for badass service-based entrepreneurs who are creating businesses and lives that are fun, successful, and free. And now your host, seven-figure business owner, coach, and founder of the Live Bright movement, here to help you own your potential, Moran.
What's up, my friends, and welcome to the show. Today, I am delighted to have Denise Horan with us. Denise is a keynote speaker. She is a coach. She is a trainer who helps businesses and business owners grow and make more sales using social media. She's also a mom. She's a soccer coach, or as she would say, a football coach because she's Irish. She's a devoted wife and one of my favorite Irish lasses. Welcome to the show, Denise.
Thank you. Thank you. What a lovely intro. I'm super excited to be here.
And it's so good to have you. And I know it's like, Monday night where you are. So I appreciate you figuring out the time zones to be here. How was your Monday?
It was good. I have the kids warned to be quiet because they're like dotted around the house. And I'm like, shh, don't be make those noise.
You've got 3 kids. Is that right?
I do. 9-year-old boy, a 12-year-old girl, and a 16-year-old girl.
Okay.
Busy
So
time.
you're at busy times. Well, I'd love to sort of hop right into it. And if you could share with us, what do you do? What is your business? And tell us a little bit about it.
Cool. So I'm Denise Horan, by the way.
Did I say
guys,
Moran?
Yeah, you Americans all say Horan. So, and you say football wrong.
Here I was trying, and because my last name is Moran, which is like, but when I'm in Ireland, it's like, no, it's Molly Moran.
Yeah, it's Molly Moran.
Yeah.
I'm Denise Horan. But lovely to be here. So I go by Denise Inspired. So I'm Denise Inspired on Instagram, Facebook, all the things. And what I do is I help business owners to become more visible online. So I help them, first of all, get the clarity of what they want, where they want to go, and then visibility, grow their visibility, their confidence on camera, speaking on camera, doing their live videos, the reels, all the things, so that they can make more money in their business. That's me.
That's you in a nutshell. So how did you get into this? You've been at it for a long time. I know you have a background as a graphic designer. So tell us, how did you take the entrepreneurial plunge, and how'd you get into this business?
Yeah, so as you said, my background is graphic design. I was in a big corporate job, which I loved and adored. But then I met Alan, who is my husband now, and he just could not believe when I wouldn't be home from the office at like 7, 8 o'clock, and he'd be like, "You finished at 5? What is going on? What are you doing?" And I was like, this is what we do, so I started to kind of think, am I building someone else's dreams here, or am I, giving everything? But the company that I worked with, I started with them. They were only a tiny startup, and then they grew into a big multinational. So I grew with them, which was brilliant. So I got lots of on-the-ground marketing experience, traditional marketing, and then into online marketing, which I loved. So then I want to say 17 years ago, we decided to take the plunge and leave Ireland and go traveling. So myself and Alan, who we weren't married at the time, we took a full year out and we traveled around Asia, Australia, New Zealand. It was amazing. Didn't work for a whole year. Then settled in Sydney in Australia, spent a year there, and then decided to stay and started having babies, basically. Yeah, so I started my first business in Sydney. Sophie is now 16. So I started my first business when she was born. So yeah.
Wow, I have so many questions there, but I'll stick to more of a business one. So that's a massive difference. Clearly you've got some like brave bones, because you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna like quit my job and go travel the world for a year. Yeah. So very cool. Yeah, the most I've done that was for 4 months. And it was not the world, but that felt big to me to take that kind of break in my career. But so how did you decide to go from like a corporate, like, because it's a much more secure place to launching your own business.
Yeah. Well, I had bought, so while I was in my corporate job, I had bought a couple of houses here. So I had some property. And then I went through a really, really bad breakup. And Dublin, Ireland is really small. like really small. So when I met Alan, it was like everywhere we went, it was like, oh my God, you broke up, it was all this stuff.
Ah,
And I had been married, so it was a big divorce. All the horrible, ugly stuff was going on. And Alan had been to Australia before, and he was like, let's just get out of here. And I was like, okay then, So we packed up and went, and it was amazing. So then when I arrived in Sydney, I worked a bit of agency work because I was a graphic designer. But then I was like, no, it's time to start my own business. It's time to do it. And actually, Molly, the first business that I started was a party business, which was funny because I'm artistic. So I do graphic design and face painting and everything. So I started a face painting business because Alan worked all week and we had no family there. So I wanted a business I could run on the weekends. So I started face painting and doing parties. And then I started to book other face painters and balloon twisters, and I sold that business 2 years later when I started my marketing business. Yeah.
oh my gosh. So you
Cool.
went from like being like in the trenches as a service-based business to then
Yeah.
starting an agency essentially,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And then
That's
when I
awesome.
started my marketing, I did the same. I was in the trenches doing it. I was kind of basically freelancing, I guess. And then I went to agency model where I was white labeling and bringing all the stuff in. Yeah. So, and then COVID hit. Sorry, I'm fast forwarding. Stop me if I'm going on.
You're
But,
good. You're good.
So we came home from Australia with my marketing business, and I was doing, social media, websites, SEO for businesses, all the things. And COVID hit then, and every phone call I got, because we were in lockdown, and everybody was like, Denise, we have to cancel. So I had everybody on retainers. So I lost 90% of my business overnight when COVID. So that was devastating.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had an office, I had staff, I had, a mortgage. But yeah, lost 90% of the business and cried under my quilt for about a week.
Yeah.
And then said, you know what? I've got knowledge. I've got
Yeah.
all this knowledge up here. And the business owners who didn't have the money to pay for marketing, what did they have? They had massive time. So I decided to start to teach them to do their own social media, because like a big thing that I tap into is that what you know is worth more than what you do. So
Yeah.
I might be a graphic designer doing my design, or I might be a web designer, but what I know, my actual knowledge is worth more. So that's what I tapped into, and I started to teach business owners how to do their own social media, how to create their own online programs, how to create memberships, and of course, if you remember back in 2020, how to even use Zoom, because a lot of my first clients were therapists, Reiki masters, people like that who could not fathom how they could use online at all. They were like, nope, can't do it. So I did a lot of confidence on camera and stuff. And yeah, fast forward 4.5 years now, and my program, The Authority Builder, is 4.5 years old. So it's really cool.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. So your program is called The Authority Builder. That is quite a story. So you closed down your second business when COVID hit, basically, right? And then started a whole new thing. Is that correct?
Pretty much overnight. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. What a pivot.
Yeah. And then 2020 was my most profitable year. I went on to make way more money than I had made from my agency, but I massively burnt myself out. So
okay. Yeah, right. So there's learning there. There. So now you don't do any agency work. Is that correct?
Actually, this year, 2024, I've started to step back into the agency. So we currently have a few clients who we run Instagram, Facebook for, and that's running side by side. So the plan for 2025 is to build that agency back up again, and have the two running. But I love the coaching and teaching, so I'll be handing a lot of the agency work off.
That's wonderful. So you've got some team members now that you're working with?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so you're rebuilding that, but probably not the office with the expensive lease and the mortgage and all of that.
No,
right.
It's just I just don't need it. All of my workers are remote now, and yeah, it's just so much easier. So much easier. But
what a story.
Because I teach visibility and I teach social media, I would be quite visible on Instagram and Facebook and that with my videos, which meant that I was always being asked, oh, so do you do social media for people?
Right.
And so it was just a no-brainer to start to jump back into it as another stream of income for the business,
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Sense. So The Authority Builder, tell us a little bit about that. So You're
Yeah.
teaching and I love what you said. I just want to go back for a second that it's what you can teach or what you know is worth
What
more
you
than
know
what
is worth more than what you do. Yeah.
right. I
Yeah.
love that. And it's so true. That's like that's such a scale thinking
Yeah.
and growth
Absolutely.
thinking. Yeah.
And so my tagline is experts know things, but authorities are known for things. So we want to make you known for something, So I work with a lot of predominantly business women who are, predominantly offline, and they have a really successful business offline, and they're doing all the things. But, you can't find them online, and they don't have that digital footprint, and they don't have that. And I've worked with, directors of companies, female directors of companies that, they've been 30 or 40 years in a business as a director in a company, but it's time to like grow their expertise online and shine a light on them, I guess,
Yeah.
So, the Authority Builder is a 12-week coaching program. So the first thing we do is clarity. Like, what do you want? What do you want to be known for? Like, when somebody thinks of your industry, you want to be the name on their lips, So what do you want from that? So that's first, it's clarity, and then it's confidence, because we all go, when it comes to posting on social media, whether it's video, whether it's showing your face, whether it's not, we all shy away from it. So what I teach is, Mel Robbins says that confidence is a skill, it's not a personality trait. So that's a big thing that I talk about. So teach confidence on camera through the whole 12 weeks. We communicate through Facebook Live in a group, a secret group, so they get used to just pressing the live button, and then we go into all the socials. So obviously Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, how to use all them efficiently, how to create content, complete a content system that you can plug into your business so it doesn't take forever to do it, that nobody has time to spend on social.
No.
So the idea is you spend kind of 20 minutes a day on your social and it's done. And then we go in, the last part of it is how we can make more money in the business. So is there a digital program you can create? Is there a membership? Is there a subscription model? Because I believe every business has a subscription model or a membership. So we tap into that and create that. So yeah, it's 12 weeks.
Wow. That sounds, I might need your program. It sounds amazing.
We start on January 15th. Are you in?
It's great. It's interesting because as I've grown as a business owner, and as a coach, I mean, obviously, I think, I have a large house cleaning company, and then of course I have a coaching company too. And in the coaching, I've gotten more and more comfortable on video, but it's it's definitely a skill. You don't start out being comfortable. You start out and sometimes I'll put together a video and I'm like, I got to edit the crap out of it, right? So I feel comfortable showing my face out there. So I'm sure this is a very common problem that you're tapping into.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always say, people are waiting until they feel confident. People say to me all the time, "Oh, when I feel confident, I'll go on camera." Never going to happen, love. You got to dig deep and get the courage. So it's courage that will make you show up, and then you show up consistently, and the confidence will grow.
Okay, I was gonna say, how do you get the confidence? Okay, so
confidence comes from the consistency of posting. And one thing I will say to you about editing all your videos, it's consistency will get rid of that as well. The more we show up on video, the more we watch our videos back, which is cringy. We all hate it. But the more you watch your videos back, you'll notice the little things that you do. So for ages, I used to play with my earrings. Then I used to play, my necklace. And, now oftentimes you'll see me, I'll have a pen in my hand. Because I'm ADHD, I need to have something. So often I'll have a pen.
I got my fidget spinner right here.
My fidget spinner, yeah. So sometimes I'll be sitting here, like fiddling with something. But that keeps me from fiddling with my hair and my,
right.
So you know these little things about yourself, which is cool.
Right. Yeah, no, I know it is cringy, and but it's important. It's part of growth. In fact, when I started this podcast, I did some of the first edits, and I was like, oh my goodness, listening to yourself, watching yourself is a massive learning curve, and just and I think so many people expect to come out like perfect or whatever, and it's like, no, like you're a beginner, like just go with it. This is a beginning kind of thing, right?
Absolutely. And the other thing to remember, Molly, is most people just want the authentic you. They don't care if, you say a word too often, or you fix your hair, or your phone falls off the holder, or the dog
Right.
barks. We don't care about
Right.
that, because we're in such a crazy, false world, a negative world, that, if you're there and you're so positive and bright and shiny, no one cares if you say something, if you stutter or you fumble over your words, or,
Right.
we just want authenticity. We want real people and smiling people,
Yes. Yes.
it's
Totally.
massive. It's massive.
I
And the other
agree.
and the other thing that I'd say to my clients all the time is, like, everyone's so terrified when they do their first video. They're like, oh, like, what if so many people see it? And, I say something wrong. And I'm like, hang on a minute, love, right? Let's get real. You have 5 followers on Instagram. Your mom might see it, and your dad, and maybe but so I often say, like, the first few videos that you do, not many people will see them anyway. It's
Right.
you gain that momentum, and yeah, so it's practice. And it's my biggest compliment that my clients can say to me is, oh, I just don't care anymore, I'm just going for it. And I'm like, yes, my work is done.
Built that confidence. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks for those tips. I'm going to take them to heart myself, and I'm sure others will. But I want to go back to something you mentioned, which is, you said you got ADHD. And
Yeah.
so I'd love to ask you some questions about that and how you navigate that as a business owner.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I know I have my own some kind of ADD or ADHD or something. And so it's a constant kind of calibration for me as a business owner and as a partner, as everything, to stay present, to stay focused. So how has that played out for you, Denise?
Well, it's actually funny, Molly, because in Ireland, you guys in the States are a lot more ahead of us, right? In everything, we always say in Ireland, like, you guys get something, and like 5 or 6 years later, we go, oh, this is a new thing, So ADHD is no different. Like, 2 years ago, I didn't know what ADHD was, or even that it existed, didn't know anything about it. And it was actually an American friend of mine said, you're ADHD, right? And I went, what the heck is that? I hadn't a clue. But what happened to me was, perimenopause hit. Yes, on that age.
Ooh, you can be, hey, that's like starts like 10 years before you go through menopause half the time. But go on. Sorry. Yeah. Thanks for keeping it real. I think we got to talk about this stuff, actually, as female entrepreneurs.
I think so. Yeah. And, like, I don't care what anybody says. Sorry, lads, but I think women have it harder in business, and because, like, hormones hit throughout our lives at all different stages for whatever reason. And what I have found out through educating myself is that women or girls mask their ADHD so well, but as soon as hormones hit, whether it's puberty, whether it's having babies, whether it's menopause, whether it's perimenopause, whatever it is, it knocks us off kilter. So our masking techniques get all kind of shaken up in our brain to be simple language.
Yes. Yeah.
And we're fucked. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, baby. First step fun.
We are.
Isn't that fact? Isn't that fact in Ireland, or do you say fucked as well?
No, we say fucked, but we do say, I'm fecking, like I'm fecking wrecked, or I'm fecking fucked.
It's a double. Okay.
But yeah, we do say fucked. But so I had this massive brain fog, basically. The last, I want to say, nearly 2 years, Molly, that I feel like I've been in a bit of a cloud, or just not performing. And I'm like a performance girl, I'm like achieving, I'm like going for things, the goals are done, I'm getting them, and the last couple of years I've been like, and foggy brain, and just not getting stuff done. So the first thing, obviously, I had to sort out was the perimenopause. So I went and did all the HRT stuff, and still nothing, still wasn't, performing as well. So then started to explore the ADHD, got my official tests. The doctor said, go on the medication, went on the medication, did that for a few months, and then went, do you know what? No, it's just not working for me. So now I'm off the medication, but I have what you guys would call a killer routine to, is that what you would say?
Sure.
Yeah, to keep me on track. So with regards to my mindset and with regards to working on myself each morning and making sure that I'm out and grounding myself out in the back garden in the grass and getting
Mm.
sunshine and going for sea swims. It is freezing here. Like the ocean
Yeah.
is freezing, and I'm putting this body into that ocean in the freezing cold.
How
But it's
often are
good
you
for me.
doing that? It is really good for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least once a week, sometimes twice.
Wow.
And it is Baltic. Like there was one, I was swimming, I was swimming last year at one stage and there was ice on the beach. That's how cold. Yes.
Oh, how long are you staying in?
Not long, not long, like
A
less than 5
plunge?
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
Okay. Do you have the big
but
do you have the big gasp going when you get in? Like
yes,
the
like, but
yeah.
yeah, and apparently that's why, like, it's so good for you because you're actually just fighting to survive. You know, you've got to regulate the breathing and your whole body is
Mhm.
tingling. And so, yeah, I'm doing all the things to stay on top of the ADHD. And so far at the moment, it's working. I'm like, I feel like productive Denise is back.
Oh, that's such a good feeling. I know exactly what you mean, actually. And with what you
Yeah.
described, I didn't know that cold plunging, because what we call essentially that's cold plunging. Like there's
Yeah.
people here in the States, maybe it'll make it to Ireland in 5 years, but they have, they built cold plunges. You could just get like an ice cooler and plug it into the
Yeah.
back and
We
in
do
your
have them. We
backyard.
do have them.
Okay, okay, okay. So
But
yeah,
here's the thing. So we have them and we have saunas with cold plunges are popping up
yeah.
all over the place. But here's the thing. If you can cold plunge, like I can cold plunge in an ice bath for like 5 minutes and it's tough going, but see, getting in the sea, it's a game changer because the wind and sometimes it's
Uh,
raining and it would cut you in two. So it's a different ball game.
I
But
bet it is.
yeah, but it's really cool. You'll have to
Yeah,
come
I
to
bet
Ireland,
it.
Molly, and I'll
I
bring you
will.
swimming in the cold sea.
Sounds amazing. I've been to Ireland a couple times, but I have never swam in the cold sea there. That's for sure.
Mm.
But I'd be up for that challenge.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
We have here in the States, I mean, like once a week, my partner and I go to, or we were, she just had her appendix out. So we're not doing it right now, but we would go to a spa and we would alternate between sauna, cold plunge back and forth. And our goal is like somewhere in the range of 8 to 11 minutes a week. And so we get them all in. So, but it's a challenge, that's for
Yeah,
sure. I
yeah.
didn't know it affected ADHD. So that's great. Would you talk to us a little bit? Because I think, there's all kinds of advice out there about routines and habits. And I, of course, have my routine, and mine is I have a very flexible routine that I use throughout the day. Other
Yeah.
people follow something very strict in the morning to set their mindset up, right? What do you do that's really working for you? Because different things work for different people. So I love for my
Oh, yeah.
listeners to hear what you do.
Yeah. So, at the moment, my alarm goes off at 6 in the morning because I have to get the kids up for school at 7:30. So
Okay.
my alarm goes off at 6 and I go make myself a nice cup of tea and I get back into bed because it's cold here and I start to journal. So I'll write a little bit about how I'm feeling and then I'll write down my intentions for the day. Then I'll write down my gratitude. And then I've started to do a little bit of inner child work because I have a lot of trauma I'm working hard on at the moment, very hard. I think when I met you back in April, I was a bit of a bubbling mess because I was, but
Well, didn't seem that way, but anyway, go
oh,
on.
thank
Yeah.
you. But I've been working a lot on that. So I do a little bit of that. I do a bit of visualization. Yeah, I spend a good hour enjoying my cup of tea and doing all the things. And then sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling, sometimes I'll actually start work. I'll grab my laptop out and I'll start doing some work because that actually goes against what a lot of people say. A lot of people say, don't start your work until later and don't do your work first thing in the morning. But sometimes I'll grab my laptop at literally 6 and start doing some work because I feel so accomplished. When I get the kids up and I get them off to school, I feel like I've already got some things done,
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm already
totally.
starting on a good foot. Whereas if I don't get any work done, and I go off to the school, and it's kind of 9:30 by the time I'm back at my desk. Sometimes I can get overwhelmed and, oh God, so much to do. So I like to get a couple of things done before then, which is great. And then like lunchtime, I'll go out for a walk and I'll meditate again. And there's lots of meditation, lots of walks, lots of sea swims, lots of exercise. I exercise most days. As you say, I play soccer, I play football. So there's a lot of that goes on.
Okay. So it's the emotional, it's the spiritual, it's the physical. Yeah.
It's all the things, because I used to think like self-care was like, oh, I had a bath on Tuesday with some candles, like me
and a glass,
for a week,
right? You're right. Spoken like a real Irish mother. I feel like that's what my mother was like, like that was the extent of it. Yeah. No, not the same as sort of, I feel, for me, a big part is grounding myself every day in my own self. Right. And I think that as business owners, the to-do list never ends. And that's what I talk to people about. It's like, you're not going to complete it. Like, that's just how it is. And so of course you need to figure out how to prioritize, and then you need to learn how to release and enjoy your free time for what it is, because we can't work all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And that would have been one that I'd struggle with in the past, because I tend to let my work seep into everything because I love it. And when you love it, you're just like, ugh. And but I do have 3 kids that I'm trying to be a good role model to, that I don't want them to see me all the time working. So I have, my working week is very systemized, and the days that I see clients is very systemized, and the times, so that I'm very fluid. Like, so Mondays and Fridays I don't generally see clients at all. So it means that if we want to go on a camping trip or we want to go something, I'm free. So then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday tend to be like my full-on days, because I like long days in work too. Once I'm stuck in, I'm stuck in,
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so then it works well for me. It works well for me.
I would think, as you say that, I would think actually, as somebody with ADHD, that makes sense too, because it can be hard to get into the work. Even if you love it, it can be hard to get in. But then once you're in, you're like, yes, let me just stay in it, right?
Right. Yeah. So that's why it really works for me. I wouldn't be the type of person who could say, some of the coaches that I work with, they would work, a few hours a day, like just do mornings or something. That wouldn't be me, because I could sit here for the whole morning trying to get into it,
Yeah.
So it really does work to do, like, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are my big long days, and it's great.
Yep. Knowing yourself is so key as an entrepreneur. And
absolutely.
I think a lot of us, I certainly did it in the past, and I see a lot of people looking to other people to say, okay, there's the 5 a.m. club, there's the miracle morning, there's the this, there's the that. And it's like, yeah, but is that going to work for you? Like, what is going to work for you? And I find it sounds to me like what you've done is you've taken a bit of a break at some point to be like, okay, well, what habits, what routines are going to keep me in tune and aligned? Yeah, good for you.
And it's like, it's like what you're saying, there's all these rules, you shouldn't go on your phone before 7 a.m. or you shouldn't go on your things, and I understand obviously the reasons why, and I wouldn't be going on my phone late at night or anything. But for me, as I said, getting work done in the morning really helps me. Helps me kick on, So it really is finding your own rules, isn't it? And finding your own, what works. It is. And I think I've taken little bits of all the different things and created my own,
Yeah, good for you. Me too. I love that. And I encourage everyone listening or watching to do just that because I thought, oh, this person's got the answer. And like, for example, the 5 a.m. club, but like they didn't have the answer for me. There were some things in there, some pieces that worked, and the same with like the miracle morning and so for me, I know like I need something that's more flexible. And so anyway, you've got to find what works for you. And so knowing yourself is so key. So anyone who's listening, I would just say if you're struggling to find your daily routine, if you're struggling because routines are important as entrepreneurs, to have some of those guardrails, so to speak, to keep us I want to say in line, but that's not the right word, but like moving forward, but discover which ones work for you and set up your own plan.
Absolutely.
Is always my
And
suggestion.
I think as entrepreneurs, we tend to shy away from systems and times. I think, especially like if you've worked in a 9 to 5 or you've worked in corporate, so you come into the entrepreneur world and you're like, oh, I don't, I want to do my own thing. I want the freedom, I'm not going to be stuck to any times. And I think we repel, the systems.
Yeah.
It's only then when we get more comfortable and we realize that no, systems will give us that freedom.
Yeah, I was just gonna, yes, they will.
It's so true, isn't it? Because otherwise we think we're free, but we've all this stuff going around in our head and we don't know, there's no system, there's no process.
Right.
So I think really, and exactly what you're saying, and the other thing is not to judge yourself, to really allow yourself to be and say, okay, well, like you're saying, like, the 5 a.m. club doesn't work for me, but maybe 6 a.m. works. Maybe it doesn't.
Right.
Maybe you work late at night, but it's like not to judge yourself and not allow other people, because there is a lot of shame out there. Oh, what do you mean you don't get up till 9 a.m.,
Right.
You're an entrepreneur if you don't get up till 9, it's ridiculous. And so it really is you do you, isn't it? It's like pick the bits that works for you and and allow yourself to be.
Yes. I couldn't agree more. I'd love to ask you about how you've had essentially 3 businesses and you're about to bring the second one back, or you've brought the second one back in to join you on the third. How have you maintained your drive? You've been an entrepreneur for 17 years or 16 years, and how have you maintained your drive throughout that time? Have you is the other question, because I don't think I don't know that it's realistic or think it's realistic to have 17 years of drive, right? So how have you kept moving forward?
It's definitely not. It's been like that. It's like a little roller coaster,
Right.
As I said earlier on, it's like, your circumstances. So throughout those years, I was having babies. I was, reaching different milestones in my life. So there's definitely been times where I have zero drive, but I've always been, most of the time I've been quite lucky that I have a business that is sustainable and can carry me through. So when I had the agency, I had it set up in a way that I could take a step back and I was able to, coast for a while, as I like to say it. I did have a big mishap in 2016. I actually lost. I had a business, it was the agency, a web agency, and I lost it. Like it went after I had Luke, my last baby. It was actually funny, Molly, because I said to Alan, my husband, we were trying to decide would we or wouldn't we have the third baby, and I was like hitting 40, and I was like, oh, I kind of wanted to but wasn't sure, and he was like, and then we decided, I said, look, let's just go for it. And he said, but what about the business? Don't worry about the business is sorted. I had a girl working for me in the office. I thought it's not going to make any difference to the business, and boy, did it make a difference. So my business went woo. So basically, I couldn't get into the office as much. The girl in the office wasn't doing so well. She was doing a few dodgy dealings, and it all went south. So that was devastating. Absolutely devastating. And I wore that failure like as if I was the most horrible person. I was like so stupid. But really, you learn so much from that kind of stuff. So coming back from that taught me so much. And I guess the reason why I'm saying that is, there's always going to be times in your business when, especially for women, sorry again, guys, but I really do feel, I'm a woman, so maybe men will tell you their side, but I really feel that we have so much responsibilities, whether it's, kids, whether it's our moms and dads, whether it's our sisters or our brother, we always seem to end up caring for different people. Does that make sense? And I feel that, life can take over. So I guess my big thing around how do you maintain the drive is like making sure that you do have that reoccurring income set up in the business, that you can coast sometimes. But then for me, coming back to that drive is always my girls. Like I've 2 girls and I just want to show them that they can be and do and have what they want, and fulfill their dreams. And like, I want to come to the States and speak in the States, and I want to speak on bigger stages. My biggest stage I've ever spoken on was for 200 businesswomen here in Ireland. So I want to go
Okay.
bigger than that, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, maybe I'll
That's
come to your
awesome.
hometown and speak on a stage in your area. That's what I
That's
want.
hey, I am contemplating putting together some kind of programs or conference. So
There
maybe
you
down the
go.
road, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
I'll have to have your
That'd be
favorite Irish girl on that stage.
That's right. That's right. You know, when I come to Ireland and I talk to people, they're like, "Oh my God, you're like more Irish than I am." Like because of my name. Anyway, it's funny, but yeah, you are certainly my favorite Irish girl. So let me ask you, I want to go back. I'm going to pause here for a second. I'm having a brain fart. Hey friend, a quick break to ask you to please go to livebrightshow.com to be added to my email list. Here's the thing. I hate email, so I pretty much guarantee you're not going to receive anything excessive. Only important things like when I have new options in my coaching program, offer free challenges, new courses, release a new pod, or perhaps an occasional biz life tip. That's livebrightshow.com. Now back to the pod. It's probably that perimenopausal ADHD thing, but I want to go back to something that you said. Oh, failures. Yes. And so it's funny. For a while, like I have a cleaning company that I've had for 15 and a half years, house cleaning company in Albuquerque. And then I have a coaching business. And then last year I decided to add a second house cleaning company, in San Diego, California. And it was a complete massive failure, financially, energetic, like it was a failure. I guess that was like a year and a half ago. And while it was happening, I thought, well, I need a failure. Every successful entrepreneur needs a failure, right?
Yes.
Right. I was like, man, did I check that box? And I checked it well, you know? I mean, I didn't go millions of dollars into debt, but I spent a lot of money over there that I would have, I don't know. I spent a lot of money over there and certainly gained a lot of lessons. But I think, honestly, the biggest one that I got out of that is, firstly, I will say I had two other secure businesses, right? So that business failure didn't mean I couldn't pay my mortgage. It didn't mean I couldn't, I couldn't live the way I normally live, because that was just an extra sort of thing. For me coming through that, I was like, right, like I know everything I did wrong. I know what I could have thought about differently before I went into it, right? But the biggest thing I learned was how I want to spend my time. And yes, I could have made that business a success had I wanted to, but I didn't. Yeah. I didn't want to spend my time. Time was too valuable to me. I wanted to spend my time on these other things, like meeting you in Paris and other things like that, rather than, starting another cleaning company. So what did you learn? What were your biggest lessons after that business?
Well, yeah. So one of the biggest ones was watch the figures. So I've always shied away from figures. I've always kind of gone, leave that to my accountant, or,
right.
So big one was watching the figures. So I now, I was going to say I now watch the figures on a weekly basis. However, I don't. So I go through stages. So if I feel like I'm coasting and I'm not doing too well, I know I haven't been watching the figures. So when I'm watching the figures, the sales are coming in and I'm doing well, So that's one of the big things for me. And then secondly is, pulling the plug when you really feel it and using your intuition to judge people more. Like I hung on to staff members I shouldn't have hung on way too long.
Been there, done that.
I trusted people way too much. I was too nice, and I wasn't the business owner. It's like maybe it was a people pleasing thing, wanting people to like me, or maybe it was just worried about other people. I don't know, but I cared too much to, be ruthless and go, do you know what? And I wouldn't have been ruthless, actually. It would have been self-preserving and normal. Anyway,
right.
So that's kind of it. It's like, not to be so trusting and not to blindly trust people, and not everybody's nice. That sounds so cynical, and I don't like to be cynical, but it's.
Oh, I just think it's real. I mean, and I like to treat people the way I want to be treated, but and I do. However, I have to remind myself, like, wait a minute, Molly,
Not
you are in,
everybody's like that.
and they are out for themselves before,
Yeah,
like, and so it's like, why I shouldn't put their interests in front of my interests or my business's interests, right? So yeah,
absolutely.
that can be a hard lesson, I think, and I do think that is a people pleasing sort of
Yeah,
yeah.
possibly ADHD type thing.
Maybe right, a few things in there. Anyway, why label it? Just fix it, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you learn the lessons. You'll do differently next time if it comes up.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's surprised you about running your own businesses?
Um, Myself, I suppose, like my own resilience, which sounds a
Mm.
bit, but it really is. It's like I sometimes go, how do I like, keep going? And how come, like, how did I get through that one, And like, yeah, so I wouldn't have had the best of upbringing. I wouldn't have had the best childhood. So like, yeah, I surprised myself, to be honest, where I am and how I've done. And yeah,
I love that answer. Good for you. Good for you. I
thank
mean,
you.
obviously, you're a very resilient person and, bought or not bought, sold and closed a couple of businesses in there. And now you're doing awesome teaching others how to build. So I love that. What would you, and I'm going to just listeners so that we'll get all of Denise Denise Horan's information in the notes so you can contact her. But where can people follow you so they can like just get some tips and tricks from you?
Yeah. So Instagram or Facebook, probably, I'm on LinkedIn too, but probably Instagram is the one that's kind of hot right now.
Yep.
So I'm Denise Inspired on Instagram. I used to be a big Facebook girl, so I built up all my audience and all my whole business through Facebook Live. So I started doing Facebook Live for my business in 2012 when I first came to Ireland. And I was doing these live videos every day. I had a little business show that I used to do live on Facebook that I loved. And then Instagram started to get busier and busier. And now Instagram is in such a growth phase that I kind of love it over there. I'm not ignoring Facebook, but I'm doing a lot on. So Instagram's probably my best.
Okay, that's interesting because I was checking you out, your socials and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, there's a lot more happening over here on Instagram for you." So, do you do a lot of live stuff on Instagram now?
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay,
I would post most days on my Instagram feed. I do a
okay,
lot of reels and a lot of like, business tip
yeah.
videos. And then I run a webinar every week or 2 weeks, like a free training to teach, 3 tips to grow on Instagram type stuff. But whenever I do one of those, I will do it live on Instagram as well. So I'll be on Zoom teaching, but I'll go live on Instagram as well. So people catch it there as well. So
Okay. Okay. Great. That's great to hear because I know lots of people listening are trying to figure out how to carve out more time or figure out how to get on camera and have the confidence to be on camera. So that's very helpful to go check you out.
yeah.
I could talk to you for a long time, but I know we are you probably need to serve dinner or something here soon. So I want to just wrap up with a couple of fun, fast questions. A little game I like to play at the end if you're down for that.
I'm down for that.
Okay, there's no real rules. I mean, you can say like, I don't want to answer that, but I have yet to have anyone say they don't want to answer one of these questions. But just a little rapid fire, like a little rapid fire before we wrap up. So, okay, so you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Okay, so what's your favorite pizza? An easy one.
Oh, like something spicy, like spicy chicken and peppers and loads of chili.
That's really interesting for an Irish person. Okay,
Is
I
it?
thought you were going to say, I mean, I feel like, yeah, okay, maybe that's just my own bent. This is not about me. This is about you. But I grew up on like no spices, meat and potatoes with my
No, I'm all spice.
all spice. I love it. Okay, what's your favorite way to experience joy every day?
Oh, oh, hugs from my babies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Current favorite movie or TV show?
Oh, wow. I love Emily in Paris. I
Oh, that's a
love
fun
Emily
one.
in Paris. It's real feel good. I love all the fashion, and it's like reading a magazine. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. But my favorite movie, ooh, I like kind of dark. type stuff, kind of dark and gritty.
Okay.
Can't even think of it. Can't even think of a movie.
Okay. That's okay. I asked
Very
you got a
good.
TV show, Emma. That's okay. I couldn't come up with a movie. TV show, yes. Movie, no. That's why I asked for either or both. So, what's a hobby that you love doing aside from work? Because I know you love to work.
So football, obviously. So I play football. I play senior women football, which is kind of funny because I am 49 and the next oldest person to me on my team is 23. And I'm captain of the team. Like, so by rights, I should not be playing on this team because it's quite high level, but I love it. So I play football and I coach under 13 girls football. So I'm a huge advocate for women in sport and women keeping on playing and girls in sport. And yeah, love it.
Oh, I love that. I love that. We could talk about that for hours. That's great. So you're a competitive footballer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, that's so fun. Okay. What's the next big vacation spot you're going on?
Ooh, so we go here in Ireland, we'd go to Europe a lot for our vacations. So we'd go to like Spain and places like that. So we'll be going to Spain in June, but I'm actually going to Vegas in February, and it's not a vacation, but it is business. I'm going to FHL in February to Vegas, and I've never been. So I'm kind of counting that as a bit of a vacation because I'll definitely have some downtime.
It's in Vegas.
Yeah. And I've never been.
Oh, I might. Is it the last one?
Apparently so. Are you coming?
I might have to come. I might have to
You
come
might
just to
have
see
to.
you. I mean, it's an hour and a half from here. It's very close.
Oh,
so
wow. Well,
yeah, I was just there last week for another business conference. There's lots of conferences there, but yeah.
You definitely need to come then.
Okay. I'll have to look into that. That'll be
my next big vacation will be Australia, like big one.
Oh.
Yeah, so I want to go. My two girls were born in Australia, so they have Australian passports. We have Australian passports, but Luke, my little boy, doesn't. So we're all going to go back. I want to do 6 weeks there and bring them and show them where they were born and do all the traveling and stuff. So that will probably be Christmas next year. So 2025, December time.
Lovely. That's amazing. What are you going to do for your 50th? You mentioned you're turning 50.
So I'm turning 50. I'm having a party in April, which is when my birthday is. But myself and my friend who turned 50 together, we've decided that we're celebrating every month of the year. So
I like it.
Yeah. So in January, we're going to Scotland. In February, we're going to London. In March, I think it's Spain. Like we can do like 1 or 2 nights in all these places. And then it's going to be my party in April and then on throughout the year. So we have loads planned.
Oh my God. I love it. I'm looking for ideas. I turned 50 in May. So I love it. That's awesome.
You've got to do something every month.
Well, yes. So
February can be Vegas.
Okay.
Together. Our 50th together in Vegas.
Oh my God. That'd be amazing. Okay. All right. A couple more. All right. So this is, would you rather be in a spaceship in space, like exploring from space, or in a submarine exploring under the sea?
A submarine all day long.
Really?
I dive. I'm a scuba diver. I love it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right up your alley. Okay. Would you rather, I've got a few here. Would you rather have a permanent mustache? I know, right? This is a good one for women. A permanent mustache, or be really hot all the time, like have hot flashes all the time.
Would I be able to wax the mustache?
Permanent mustache.
Okay, I've had the hot flashes, I think.
Okay. I've had one person say they'll keep the mustache. So, anyway, that's good.
Well,
that's good.
Well, when I was going on HRT and then she was talking about testosterone and everything, and she was like, well, the side effects, like you could like grow extra hair. And I was like, I don't care. I need rid of these feelings. I'll be like your one out of The Greatest Showman. Look out, because here I come with my big beard and all. As long as I feel good, I don't care.
Good. I get that. Totally. All right. Last question for you, Denise. This life you've created, which is really, it's a kick-ass life. I mean, you've had so many adventures. You've got this successful business and family, and you're doing it on your terms, which is what, Living Bright is all about. Would you say it's more by design or by luck?
Oh my gosh, design. Absolutely. Absolutely by design.
Yep. Yep. All right. Well, that is a wrap. Thank you so much for joining. It was
You're
awesome
welcome.
having you here. And until next time, live bright.
Thank you for having me.
And that's it for today. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Live Bright Show. If you enjoyed this pod, please go to livebrightshow.com to be in the know for new program offerings and podcast releases. Molly has more awesome guests and content coming your way, so you're going to want to be on that list. Also, just because you're still listening, it would be incredible if you could go ahead and subscribe to this podcast and provide the show with a 5-star review. You know how they help. Go forth, have fun, and live bright, friends.